All right, welcome one and all to the Off the Rail Sports Podcast. Having a little problem with my English today. Uh,
Podcast.
Podcast.
Pod.
Enunciate.
Podcast.
Thank you very much. Now I know
There
the
you go.
English version of it.
Thank you.
Uh, welcome one, welcome all. And if you could kindly hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot to us. Even leave some comments, even if you're a troll. I don't mind. I like that. I like that. How you doing today, Brian?
Off to a good start today. Monday morning, starting a new week, wrapping up the month of April
Yes. Yes. Well, you know
already.
what? We're a month into the baseball season. You got any observations?
Yeah, I was just looking over the overall standings today before you sent me the link to jump on.
Okay.
And I got to say, it looks like everything now that we're a full month in is starting to shape up kind of the way we expected. There's still a couple of surprises, uh, but for the most part, the things that we expected to happen are in the standings are starting to happen.
Well, I mean, I guess so. I mean, yeah, uh, Baltimore seems a little disappointing. We were wondering about their pitching before the season started. I got to tell you, the thing that really is starting to strike me about, and I was looking at the baseball standings. Let's take the Braves out of it. And I think you made a really poignant remark last week when you said that, if this was the middle of the season, we'd get through it. Everybody overreacts when they come out of the gate, and I think that was a really astute observation. But at some point, I'm watching this dumpster fire in Colorado, and they're at 4 wins. And, I don't want to I don't want to belabor the point too much, but at some point, shouldn't MLB be able to take away ownership from some of these guys? Because I mean, how many years do the fans in Colorado? How badly do you destroy that fan base there? Really? If you're a
Well, I don't
Rockies
know.
fan,
Okay, I'd have to look at this. What's the attendance been like? I mean, I don't know.
yeah,
Uh, are they still drawing a fair amount of people? Are people still willing to go pay for the product? I don't know. I
right.
mean, there have been lots of teams that have tanked on purpose for 3, 4, 5 years at a time. I mean, the Astros were our first example of that.
But have we
The
seen
Bill,
anything this bad, Brian?
not this bad, no. Uh, so are they just taking it to the next level? I guess. I don't know. Are they tanking totally on purpose? Are they trying to be as crappy as possible so they can move the team to Miami and get a club in Boca Raton, Florida, like, you know, the movie Major League? I don't
Yeah,
know.
no kidding, huh?
But
Uh,
yeah, but we did expect the Rockies to be terrible, so that's not really a surprise.
God, man, 4 wins though, Brian. Come on, man. I mean, I don't know.
They got to
I just
accidentally win more than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking last week, I was saying that they weren't even on a 40 win pace. They're not even on a 35 win pace at this point. Now I know they're going to break out and have a winning streak of 2 games, but man, oh man, it's just pathetic. Look, oh, you know what? I got the attendance for yesterday.
Okay.
Boy, look, what do you think their attendance was yesterday? Going into that game, they were 4-22. What do you think
And
their game?
who were they playing yesterday?
The Cincinnati Reds.
Okay. Rockies playing the Reds. I'm gonna say 16,000.
I would have thought you would have been way, way high there. The actual attendance was 28,408.
Dude,
That
there you go.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they were giving away $100 bills. I'm not sure. but but that is, you know what? That is a pretty amazing. I mean, but at some point you just end up burning out the guys. I mean, you burn out the fans. I mean, God, I
Yeah.
watched that dumpster fire, and man, even the Athletics look at them and go, "Man, they suck." Yeah,
Yeah, the
right.
Reds aren't too bad. They're a 500 team, man. I mean, a lot of teams they hover around that 500 mark, and that's a successful season.
Yeah, yeah, they can get that revenue sharing check, right?
because it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it's that's the thing about baseball. You hover around 500 in some of the other major sports, NFL. I mean, you suck, right?
Right.
You hover around 500 in the NBA. Well, you'll make the playoffs because everyone does,
Yeah.
but you suck. You hover around 500 in the MLB, you can beat anybody on any day, and over 162 games. If you're just 8 games over 500, you're going to have a chance to snip the playoffs.
Well,
It is such a failure based sport that it doesn't take a
it
lot
does.
over mediocre to be successful, which is
Well, and
which is amazing.
especially with the expanded playoffs, right? We get 7 teams in each league now.
Right.
You know, you're right.
Yeah, that sucks.
No, I think no, I think the playoff system is good. I mean, it's so hard for me to understand. You play 162 games. Why can't you? I mean, why can't you play 2 out of 3 or a 1 game playoff or whatever? I mean, yeah, go ahead. Like,
Yeah,
that's where miracles happen.
right.
I mean, what is what it is. All right, let's get back to your favorite player. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not going to make light of your Cassis prediction. Let's talk about Jamie Duran. Yesterday in Cleveland. Uh,
Jaron.
oh, Darren. Sorry,
Jaron.
Jaron. Oh, Jaron. Yeah, right.
Way to be a
Duran.
Red Sox fan there.
Yeah, I am. I'm
Your best
just.
player for the last year and a half. That's okay.
Well, I would say
Keep riding
Devers, but
that Devers train to the strikeout record.
hey, that's fine. We only owe him 300 million more. Uh, we better start liking him. Uh, So in a Netflix documentary, he alluded to having some suicidal feelings, situations, and it seems like a fan in Cleveland yesterday maybe took that a little too far. There was some words said. The Red Sox didn't take to it too well. The fan was removed. What do you think about the fans' right to be able to say whatever they want in a baseball stadium?
uh, well, that shows you they can't say whatever they want if the
Right.
fan was removed. So, uh, it goes to the whole thing about, I mean, it goes to a bigger issue if you really want to take it there of freedom of speech, right?
Okay.
Uh, you guys want to heckle players and stuff like that. That's fine. I think, though, and this is maybe just me and the way I was raised and stuff, if you're out just to freaking talk shit to a guy, just to piss him off or upset him or whatever, and you're willing to say extreme stuff like that, you're an a-hole.
Well, I
Period.
don't
End of
think anybody's
story.
going to fight that. Nobody's going to argue that,
Yeah.
right?
And if that's what you're doing, and if you're crossing the line, then yeah, you should get kicked out of the game. If you're going to talk some trash to a player and stuff like that, and it's good, clean fun, and oh, dude, you suck, you should have made that throw,
Right,
or whatever,
right,
or
right.
nice whiff, or whatever, stuff like that, that's fine. That's part of the game. I've played in plenty of adult softball leagues where we did that to each other.
Sure.
You know, so certain
Actually,
certain level, it's all fun and games and part of it. And I'm sure the players hear tons, and I'm sure inside they're laughing at tons of it, but they don't want
yeah,
to, they don't want to make it visible to the public that that guy's cracking me up or whatever. You know what I mean?
sure.
They want to make it look like they're not listening.
Right.
But yeah, I think when he had that incident last year where the guy got under his skin and he said something back and got suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean,
But who knows what
heckling
this
is
who knows what this guy was saying? I didn't hear it, and I didn't know if it got caught on any live mics and I missed it or not. But the
sure
way
did.
the rest of the players were backing it up
Hmm.
and backing him up and trying to restrain him,
Right.
I'm sure it had something to do with that Netflix documentary piece.
I would assume so. I mean, there's always been allegations and stuff. And look, the First Amendment isn't total freedom of speech. I mean, you can't go into a crowded movie theater and say fire, right? I mean, there is restrictions because
You can
public
yell
say,
flood though.
yeah, sure, happens all the time, right? And I don't know. I do think that, and we've always, and especially being in Boston, um, there's been all there's been a lot of situations with a lot of racial stuff going down. I'm trying to think of the prominent player who said, "I hate playing in Boston," because of that stuff. And I do think that Major League Baseball is responsive to it. I think stadiums are pretty responsive. You and I went to a lot of Angel games. I really don't think anybody was saying anything there because we were just waiting to leave. We just couldn't wait to get out of the game. How many errors can Devers make, and how can we lose this in the ninth, kind of thing. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Kevin Guzman. He pitched 53 pitches yesterday in one inning. Talk about some wear and tear on his arm, right? 11-2
That's
loss to the Yankees.
that is inefficiency at its peak.
Yeah, okay. Max Fried, their stud that they signed to free agency, is 5-0 with a 1.43 ERA. Not bad, not bad.
That
So,
seems to be why you go out and get a free agent pitcher and pay him a lot of money.
yeah, it absolutely does. And I don't know, maybe you've heard something, but I haven't heard a word about Garrett Cole. I mean, I know he's
He's
out
out
for the
for the
year.
year.
I know he's out for the year. But it's just surprising. I mean, I don't know. It just God, these pitchers are so they oh wow, look at this. Brian Bello got a win yesterday. Just saying. You may
I
not have
know.
picked that up, okay?
I did. I mean, granted, the team had to score 13 runs to make sure he got it, but
Well, that's okay. We only gave up 3. That's okay, Brian. You got to learn. Jose
no,
Quintana
he pitched
4-0,
well. He pitched well
1.14.
yesterday.
Who's the best pitcher in baseball right now, Brian?
Man, well, if you're going to go right now, you said it, Max Fried.
Yeah,
I mean, right now, look at this season. This season,
I
who's doing
understand,
better than
Brian.
that? Who's
Okay,
doing better than that?
if you had a draft, who's the pitcher you would take? I got to say, Paul Skeens was insanely amazing on Friday night against the Dodgers. He just mowed them down, and the Dodgers do not lose in Dodger Stadium on the road. They're an iteration of the Colorado Rockies. Okay, they're trying to get 1 out of 3, but at home they are the monsters. Paul Skeens was amazing.
All right.
All right,
I guess
I
I guess he'd be up there. Hard to say
Screwball,
who's the
Sc-
best. Scooble is
Screwball.
great. Scooble
Yeah.
is great.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, you're up there.
Okay. Well, we got that going on, right? What do you think about the Dodgers? Why do you think there's such a discrepancy road home?
I don't know. Why do you always want to talk about the Dodgers?
Because of the biggest team in the sport. How
Because
about
you
that?
hate them.
Why? Hey, let me
You
ask you
hate them.
this. Have you ever seen the NFL? Everybody talks about the Cowboys. Doesn't mean if they're 2-12, we're talking about why the Cowboys suck. If they're 12-2, we talk about how come they're great. In the middle, we go, why are they average? Every week, every NFL conversation starts with it. You need to come into the ecosystem, and the Dodgers are the biggest name in there. Hello?
Man,
Yeah?
I guess. I
Okay,
guess.
I guessed. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know
How's
why they're. I don't know why they're having this discrepancy, but that is not the stuff of champions. I'll tell you that.
well, it's early, but yeah, it's not going very well, that's for sure, right? Wow. Let's go through some of the averages of the greatest team since the 27 Yankees.
Okay.
Otani is hitting 286. Mookie Betts, who somebody on this podcast said is the best player on the Dodgers, is hitting a
Yes.
stellar 232.
That's
Hernandez
okay. Nobody.
277.
Batting average is irrelevant in this era.
I know it is, Brian, except everybody but you.
No, I'm the only one that thinks it matters.
Okay.
Everybody else just looks at OPS now.
Yep. OPS is the big thing, that's for sure. Freeman's hitting 283.
He's still
Edmund,
hurt.
two. Yeah. No, he played
Yeah.
yesterday. He played yesterday. He
All
was
right.
2 for 4, two
All right.
RBIs.
Good for him.
Everybody ate at the buffet that is the Pittsburgh Pirates. You might as well get plenty of hits and runs there, right?
When when Skeens isn't pitching, feast up.
You know, I just don't understand the Pirates. I mean, they're a stellar 11-18. They had a chance to make a move, and they spent peanuts in free agency last winter, and they didn't get a hitter. I keep looking at this McCutcheon, and McCutcheon was 4 for 4 yesterday. He's hitting 276. But I mean, other than him, what do they got there? Brian Reynolds. I
No,
mean, come on.
Brian Reynolds was supposed to be the next big thing a couple of years ago.
Yep.
McCutcheon is there only as a throwback because they owe him for whatever, and he might still be a draw in Pittsburgh because of his work there 10 years ago. But I mean, he's just an average player nowadays.
I agree.
Uh, he's just like a local hero kind of a thing. I think that's
You
why they
know,
kept him.
it was a Sunday afternoon game at Dodger Stadium. They drew 50,000. I think they draw 50,000 every game there, don't they?
Probably close to it.
You
I
know,
mean, the Dodgers are always at the top of the league in total attendance for the year anyway, though. Even
it
on the
is.
years, I mean, previous to this era when they weren't even great, or they
Yeah.
were just an average team or a competitive team, they would still always be one of the top draws uh,
Yeah.
league wide.
And if for anybody out there who hasn't been to Dodger Stadium, it's literally like trying to get to Alcatraz. Okay, you got to get on a boat, then you got to swim 3 miles, then you got to worry about the sharks, and then you finally get in there, and then they hit you for like a $300 bill just to park or whatever they need to do. Right? I mean, we went there
And then
last year.
and it takes longer to get out.
Oh my gosh! Literally, books have been written in faster than that. Yeah, right. All right. Well, it looks like that's all we got today for baseball. You got anything? You got anything you want to put on the table?
Yeah, I just want to say it because it's kind of the guy I'm rooting for. You know it. Uh, Second in the league in home runs. Batting average still sucks. Not afraid to admit it. But and his team has fallen into last place, a little under 500. But Mike Trout still playing. He's hitting bombs. He's got 9.
Yeah. I watched him this weekend play Minnesota, and I I I think we're seeing the end of an era, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, he does. He's still, but boy, he sure gets fooled on those sliders now like he never used to. It's
And
look,
I
go ahead.
wonder if that too, as a low batting average, and just and obviously not getting on base as much, whatever. I wonder if a lot of that is just lack of reps of not seeing live game pitching as often over the last few years. I mean,
That's
you can
very
only do so
possible.
much in the batting cage, right?
Yeah, I guess.
When they're grooving them to you so that you can hit.
Right. So
I mean,
here's our numbers for Mike Trout for anybody just tuning in. Mike Trout's got 9 home runs, 18 RBIs, and hitting a buck 70. So actually, when he hits, things happen, right? I mean, the 2-run homer, obviously, right? I mean,
well, he's on the Angels. There are a lot of solo shots. Call it like it
way
is,
too
man.
many.
Here's one thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one thing that I did hear this weekend watching the game that was
Okay.
pretty awesome. The Red Sox lead the league by a considerable amount in 3-run homers.
Wow.
I think they're
Wow.
like 6 ahead of the next team.
Jeez, that's pretty impressive. Huh. I know
So
they got
the Red,
quite a few stolen bases. I can't bring up the stats, but I'm trying to. But yeah, wow, 3-run homers, huh? Bregman's actually. What do you think about the Bregman signing now?
so far it's been uh, a blessing. I mean,
Yeah,
because him right there in that, what I think he's hitting third.
yeah,
He's providing something they've needed for a while, which is a good, solid right-handed bat. Trevor Story was on fire a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
He kind of had a little cold spell this week, and his average has dropped quite a bit. But I mean, he was hitting everything just a couple of weeks ago, which was nice having those two back to back. But
Yeah.
Bregman's been great.
Here's his numbers: 319 batting average, 22 ribbies, 5 home runs, slugging percentage of 543. Not bad. Not bad
That's a
pickup.
that's a good month. If he could do that for 6 months, that would
Then we're
be
going to lose him to free
outstanding.
agency. Yeah,
That's
that'd be
okay.
great.
That's okay. We might win this year.
You and I have always had this yeah. Well, Rafaela got 5 runs, drives him 5 runs yesterday. He's done for the next 4 months. Um, you know, I have never understood with the current incantation of management for the Red Sox. And granted, they've only won 4 world titles in the last 20 something years, but they have never made a priority of a big right-handed bat. I mean, to me, the last big right-handed bat we had was Manny, right? Maybe we've had some guys. I mean, JD Martinez was there for a moment, but I don't understand why we're not bringing up somebody. I mean, they're obviously doing a great job on the farm system, but boy, it does. I guess the world is changing, and they're not really bringing the right-handed batter up who strikes out a lot, right?
Well, no. Which is weird because in this more modern era that we're in, strikeouts don't seem to matter to the front office people.
No, it's not a double play,
Uh, it's as long as there's the home run, we'll take 2 strikeouts with a home run, which I
right?
don't get. But uh, yeah, they did the JD Martinez for a 5-year contract, and he was really only productive. I mean, highly productive for maybe 3 of them.
Only,
And then he kind of, yeah, well, 3 out of 5 is pretty good. We'll take it, right?
yes.
But yeah, other than that, haven't really had any. Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. He's probably the only one.
That I
They've
could
had a
think of
lot of
offhand.
they've had a lot of whiffs in free agency.
No argument.
Pablo Sandoval.
Carl Crawford.
Oh, well, yeah, left-handed though.
I,
Sandoval
I
was a
understand.
switch hitter, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're just I don't know. I don't know. And you've always said it. They need to have a right-handed power hitter. And you're right. Since Manny left, JD's probably the only one of any note whatsoever.
Right. Well, but obviously the team has figured out a way to win four world titles this century, right? I mean, they
That's
obviously got a
right.
recipe. All
That's
right.
right.
All right. Well, on that good note, 2018 lives long in our minds, my friends. It lives long in our minds. All right. That's it for Off the Rail Sports Podcast. Hit the like and subscribe button, leave some comments, and we'll talk to you soon. All
See
right.
ya.
Late.